The Six Nations gives us yet another dramatic finish, this one in Rome. Famous result as well that's going to live long in the memory. My name's Mark. Let's talk rugby. What a fantastic game of rugby. Both teams really did contribute to what was an amazing, spectacle of rugby. I know Scotland are going to feel down, obviously, about the result, but in terms of just the ambition of both teams to play rugby and to attack when they see, a chance to try and create space and just, trying to keep the ball alive as well. It was so entertaining from minute 1 to minute 80. This is just the absolute best advertising for this tournament, I feel. And it starts off straight away. First minute, we've already got like the crowd, electric atmosphere. It's honestly the first time, including Ireland games against Italy, that I ever felt goosebumps before an Italy game. Just the crowd, the anthem, everything just felt special today. Um, and whether Italy were going to win or not, I think it was just showed how this new team under Lamaro and Casada there as the new coach as well has kind of captured the imagination of the Italian public as well, and that's why I think that Italy are going to kick on from here. This isn't one of these, this isn't a season where we're just going to see like a flash in the pan from. I think that this is an era that we're going to look back on. This is the start of something special for Italy, this team, but also Italy as a rugby nation as well. But right from the kickoff, Christie gets pinged for holding on. The ball falls off the tee again for Gabisi, just like it did in Lille, but this time keeps his composure. Referee tells him he's got time. He replaces it and then slots the kick for 3-0. Scotland, though, look to respond. They're around halfway. Ball goes loose. Italy, they look to kind of hack it through, but it comes off a Scott, and it's kind of in the middle of the pitch, but then it pings off a Scott and goes way over to the wing. And Cam Redpath does really well to keep it alive. Finn Russell then juggles it to keep it alive. Scotland, he kind of passes it into no man's land, but Scotland get there. They go through a number of phases, work it up to the line. Then Xander Fagerson forces his way over to score. Russell adds the extra 7-3 Scotland lead. We can't, though, pause to catch our breath because Scotland are coming again, playing at massively quick tempo. They're going quickly from lineouts wherever it's possible. Van der Merwe almost gets free. He's, well tackled, but Scotland recycle quickly. Then they go to the opposite wing. Kyle Steyn goes over to score. Russell makes his 14-3 with the conversion. Italy feel like they need to score now, but they do. Paige Rello with a lovely dink over the top from about 15 meters out on a first phase play. Rex gets to it first to ground. Gerbisi pops up with a conversion and it's 14-10. Fischetti then tackles Darge off the ball. Russell makes a 17-10. Paige Rello then, he's dithering around, the middle of, kind of around about halfway, he's dithering, and he then decides to throw a pass that he wasn't going to throw in the first place, and it's read so easily by Christie, who intercepts. Russell then kicks a great 50-22. Scotland go for the maul from the line out, and they just worked it so well, and Skuman drives over to score. Russell misses his first kick at goal of this year's Six Nations, 22-10. Like, what an amazing record to go that long into a Six Nations as the main kicker for your team and not miss a single kick until then. He's got to get credit for that. Christie then not rolling away, and Gerbisi closes the gap from the tee. It's 22-13. Italy just hanging on in there a little bit at the moment. Christie then in the action again, snaffles up a loose ball, breaks in behind, heading for the line. Like, it's a brilliant break. I think he burned, who is it? it was Ioane, right? He just had too much pace for him. But Brex does manage to get back, drags him down, then gets over the ball to win a penalty and save a try. Italy go quickly from that penalty, and then they force a penalty. Scotland go off feet. Pedrello lands a long range penalty to make it 22-16. Then we have, a bit of a crazy moment, or not moment, a crazy period. The whole game was crazy, actually. Just all action. It was amazing. But um, some good work from Lina, gets the ball to Capuozzo. Then Van der Merwe holds him up over the line. It wasn't one of these where he was under the ball. He's basically like a choke tackle type thing, holding over the line. So the ball is turned over. Italy then come again, but Darge eventually gets over to win a penalty. Scotland then continue to play, but it comes to nothing, and we're at half time. And there was so much happening in that first half, very entertaining. And if you're gonna watch a replay of this, hopefully they show Kinghorn's one-handed pickup and then a step around to charging Fischetti, because that was just pure rugby porn right there. It was like, just an amazing piece of play for him in a game that had so many exciting pieces of play as well. Scotland then into the second half. They're over within a couple of minutes of the break. Jones through a hole and off the Horn, who finishes it off. But then we have a team mode check, and it shows the Skooma makes the gap for Jones to go through by blocking Vincent off the ball. And, so Scotland denied a try. And then from the penalty, Garbisi, he misses touch, and you're thinking, oh, Italy, they wasted a chance there, but Scotland kick it back to them, and Italy do actually strike from here. They claim the clearance, go through the phases. Menoncello makes good meters after contact. He did that the whole game. Like that guy, uh, he seems to. It felt like he's making more meters after contact than he was before contact. He's just such an amazing player, and you know it's amazing to me as well how much Italy have chopped and changed their midfield when Brex and Menoncello just seems to me like the absolutely perfect fit for that midfield combination. Hopefully this game shows that now that he's not going to be stuck out on the wing or like, in other places or other people tried in there, because he is the solution as far as I'm concerned. But Garbisi then with a little kick over the top. Lewis Lina on his debut gets to it first, goes between two defenders and over to score. Garbisi then misses what was a gimme conversion that would have put Italy in the lead. So still 22-21 to Scotland. Italy then they have the ball again, but they seem to just be going side to side. Then Vincent goes through a gap and has the pace to get to within a couple of meters. Scotland finally drag him down. Italy then through the faces, and eventually Varney snipes over to score. Scotland may be lucky, I think, not to actually get a yellow card for deliberately playing the ball off feet, to try and slow it down just before that, because there was penalty advantages. I think if the referee had come back for that penalty, he probably would have very, seriously considered a yellow card there. But Garbisi nails the conversion. We're at 28-22. Italy now leading. Atmosphere is just sparking. And again, this just feels really, really special. Italy then win a scrum penalty. I've talked about in my preview as well, the fact that both replacement front rows, that's kind of where we were in the game at this stage, could have that impact by winning, a penalty for the team. There's the Italian replacements that did it, but then the line out, it's been poor all day. I'm thinking it needs to function here. Throw isn't straight. Scotland then attack off their scrum. They release Van der Merwe. Capuozzo and Garbisi do really well to stop him, because it looked like, he was either going to burst through himself or he had somebody coming across kind of on a loop where he might have been able to offload to them and over to score. Then from here, we're we get then a penalty for Italy because Russell was offside in the last 10 minutes. And it feels like, Italy, they need another score just to give them that little bit of breathing room. Skinner then, he's offside, and Italy do have that chance to make it a two-score game. Garbisi, he slots the penalty, even though like the referee was told by the TMO they gave him the wrong mark and had to make him move the ball back about 4 or 5 meters. Still was able to slot it, and it's 31-22. And now you're thinking, what have you got, Scotland? Can you respond? And Scotland gave it a hell of a go. You got to say that. They come forward. They've got Italy, under siege in the 22. Richie gets to within a couple of meters, and then Italy, they managed to break. There was kind of a knock on, and we're playing advantage. Advantage was called over. Italy break down the field, and but then we come back for a TMO check because the TMO feels that the knock on was actually deliberate knock on. We have a bit of a conference on the field between Gardner and his assistants. You can hear Dixon, and I don't know who the other guy was, but thinking maybe definitely a penalty, maybe more. They're thinking there could be a potential break there, but Gardner, he feels like it's they're numbered up 2-on-2, and he feels that it's just a penalty. And I thought it was really good officiating the way they were able to kind of just have the discussion between them. But then Alex Gardner, Angus Gardner, he's the ultimate kind of he has the ultimate say in it, and he sticks with what his decision in after listening to input from the assistants and the TMO there as well. So I thought that was a really good example of the whole process of officiating working really well there. So it's a penalty. Scotland then they work it. They go to, I think they went to the corner. They work it into the shadows of the post, and Skinner drives over to score. Russell very quickly with the conversion. It's 31-29. We've got 2 minutes to go. Scotland are going to have a chance from the kickoff, or the restart, which they claim. That was also the bonus point try, but they want to win in this game. The bonus point is kind of nice because it mathematically keeps them in with a shout for the championship, but they know the win is what they need to really keep that pressure on Ireland. Scotland then going through the phases, and clock goes into the red. They're still in their own half. Italy holding them, but then Scotland do manage to work it up to the 10-meter line, and now it's a case of who's going to blink first. Scotland, they're looking to force that penalty or get within range for a drop goal. Italy trying to force an error, and it's Scotland that after 24 phases they knock on, and it's just an absolutely famous win for Italy, 31-22, an amazing game. And we have to remember as well, both teams played a part in this. It wasn't a case of Scotland being terrible and being turned over. It was two teams just going at a hammer and tongs. Certainly errors from both teams, but still it wasn't a case, I don't think at least, of Scotland not turning up. It was just a case of Italy being slightly the better team on the day. We're going to have a quick look at some of the stats, because this is obviously just before the Ireland game, and I want to make sure that I have time to go and watch that as well. So stats wise, tries scored, 3 for Italy, 4 for Scotland. So 2 bonus points for Scotland out of this, which means that they do keep that mathematical chance of catching Ireland alive. Carries then 92 for Italy, 177 for Scotland. Meters carried 583, and 1,115 is an amazing number from Scotland. Meters gained 343 for Italy, 685 for Scotland. Line breaks then 5-6. So, and a lot of the line breaks for Scotland, Italy were able to get back there and get some kind of scramble going and prevent a score that probably would have killed them really. Defenders beaten then 15-36. So Scotland certainly the more dangerous with ball in hand, but Italy, when they did get the chance, as I said, they took them. Total passes 124 to 237. Offloads only 2 from Italy, which is a lot lower than we're used to seeing from them. 19 from Scotland. There were, the one offload that didn't happen though was the Van der Merwe one, when Garbisi and Capozzo kind of just got back there to dime. Handling errors then, 13 for Italy, 21 for Scotland. Both teams really pushing the envelope. But then turnovers conceded, just 9 for Italy, 15 for Scotland, and those turnovers really did help Italy in terms of turning momentum, especially when they started coming back into the game. Kicking, first time I've seen in a very long time Italy actually out-kicking their opposition, 30 kicks to 25. Scotland as well are a team that, a lot of their strategy is built around their kicking game, and even if they don't kick as many times as the opposition, we normally see them out kicking in terms of meters, but not in this game. 839 meters for Italy to 691 for Scotland. Again, it's just that change of approach from Italy, kicking to make sure that, in terms of their exits from the 22, and also making sure that they're putting up contestable kicks, that they're kicking into space, that they're playing the game in the right areas of the field as well. Defense then, 213 tackles to 130. So Italy, on the defense for a lot of the game. And possession was 41% to 59, and territory 49 to 51. But in that first half, it was just all Scotland. Scotland were up around 70% for both. So Italy really did come back at them in the second half. Tackles missed 36 to 15. Tackle percentage then 86% to 90. 86 decent for Italy. 90 is a really good performance from Scotland. Discipline, only 5 penalties from Italy. That is amazing discipline from them. 12 from Scotland, and that allowed Italy, to stay in the game and also get in positions a lot of the time as well, especially when it was kind of a back-to-back penalty that took them from their own 22 to suddenly being able to kick a goal or to be in the Scottish 22 with possession as well. Breakdown then, 79 rucks won to 123, 3 lost each, and then ball 0 to 3 seconds, 60% for Italy, 62 for Scotland. Both teams playing, very high tempo as well. And, for Scotland to pay dividends at times, but at other times, it sometimes a little bit rushed for them too. So maybe a little bit of composure at times, especially towards the end, but hindsight and all that. Scrums 1 then, 2 for Italy, 5 for Scotland. That scrum penalty crucial in that second half for Italy. Lineouts then 9-1 to 10. Italy losing 3 of their own throws to Scotland 0, and that could have been a turning point in the game as well, because they 3 decent positions where they turned over possession cheaply there as well. And, in terms of kind of the overall between the two teams, I felt like that, Scotland has started really well. They fell away in the second half again, which is seen in this tournament before. But how different might have the momentum been had that try that they scored the first couple of minutes of the second half actually stood. I'm not saying they would have won the game, because the whole game would have been completely different after that, and there's no saying that Italy would have gone on and won the game anyway, so you can't say one way or the other, but for them it would at least give them a better platform to work from in that second half. They did though give themselves the chance to at the end getting that try through Skinner, but they just couldn't fashion that final penalty or drop a goal that they were looking for to win it. Their chance at the title now is gone. Maybe not mathematically yet, but they've still got a triple crown up for grabs, so they've got to kind of get themselves back together now and really give hell to Ireland next week in Dublin. In terms of Italy, did so well to stick in the game. I think the more pragmatic approach that they're showing now in terms of exits and also taking their points really did help them with that. They kept Duhan van der Merwe pretty quiet today. There were a few times when he almost got away, but you could see they were so desperate to make sure that he didn't drag themselves back into the game. Despite the line-out woes that they had, and they made their chances and they took them as well. I think they felt like they were more clinical today than in previous games, and crucially, I think they kept looking for a score after they got themselves ahead with 10 minutes to go, and that penalty gave them the cushion to be able to hold on at the end. So having the bravery to do that and not just deciding to defend, I think really worked out for them. Amazing crowd, amazing performance. And to those that say that Italy should be kicked out of the Six Nations, I think you can take this performance and stick it in your pipe and smoke it.